Philip McKeon laid bare his deepest truths in the poignant message he left behind. Words that forever shifted the narrative. Born Philip Anthony McKeon on November 11, 1964 in Westbury, New York, a serene town nestled within Nassau County on Long Island, Philip entered the world into a humble and nurturing family. His mother, Barbara McKeon, was a devoted homemaker who would later take on the task of guiding her children's early steps into show business, while his father, Donald McKeon, worked as a travel agent. Together, they cultivated a warm and supportive home that encouraged creativity and discipline, qualities that would prove essential once Philip ventured into the whirlwind of the entertainment industry. Philip shared a particularly strong connection with his younger sister, Nancy McKeon, who would later rise to fame as the tough yet lovable Jo Polniacek on the hit 80s sitcom, The Facts of Life. The siblings were not just close in their personal lives, but also walked parallel paths in show business. Their shared journey in the entertainment world bonded them in a way few others could understand, forming a deep familial and professional alliance that lasted a lifetime. His foray into show business came remarkably early. At just 4 years old, Philip's innate charm and striking appearance caught the eye of talent scouts. It all began when his parents brought both him and Nancy to a nearby modeling audition in their hometown, just to explore the opportunity. Much to everyone's surprise, both children stood out, but it was Philip who immediately captured attention. With piercing blue eyes, angelic features, and a natural comfort in front of the camera, he quickly secured work as a print model, landing spots in magazines, newspapers, and national television ads. This was the early 1970s, a golden period for advertising, and Philip soon became a recognizable face across America thanks to his presence in numerous commercial campaigns. As his modeling gigs increased, so did opportunities in theater and screen acting. He began appearing in stage productions where he honed his timing, delivery, and stage presence, skills that would seamlessly carry over into his television work. Philip's modeling background gave him an invaluable advantage. He was already comfortable in front of the camera and understood the mechanics of media exposure. This preparation helped him avoid many of the pitfalls often experienced by young performers suddenly thrust into the limelight. Despite his growing fame, Philip never lost touch with a typical childhood. He had a strong love for sports, especially baseball. In 1975, he played Little League Baseball in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, a town famous for hosting the Little League World Series. While playing there, he even shared the field with Benoit Benjamin, who would later go on to become an NBA player. These early, grounding experiences reflected how Philip remained deeply connected to normal childhood joys, maintaining friendships and living with a level of humility rare in child stars. Remarkably, Philip's journey in entertainment had started even earlier than most knew. By the age of 2, his parents were already taking him and Nancy to commercial auditions throughout New York City. Philip's expressive face, articulate speech, and warm demeanor made him an instant favorite among casting directors. He quickly became one of the most in-demand child models of his time, appearing in countless ad campaigns for everything from clothing and toys to household items. His easygoing nature made him not just marketable, but also reliable on set, a key trait that won him consistent work in television commercials as well. Living under the media spotlight from such a young age, Philip essentially grew up on camera. This unusual upbringing gave him a front-row view into the complex world of entertainment and media. By the time he began auditioning for more significant roles, he had already developed a mature understanding of the industry and a solid skill set to match. His continued exposure to acting and modeling laid a strong foundation for his later transition into more serious dramatic work. On stage, he stood out with a natural sense of timing and emotional depth, gifts rarely seen in performers so young. It was one of these stage performances that became a pivotal moment in his career. During a Broadway production, a 12-year-old Philip caught the attention of Linda Lavin, an acclaimed actress already well-respected in both theater and television circles. At the time, Lavin was preparing to headline a new CBS sitcom titled Alice, inspired by Martin Scorsese's 1974 film Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. Taken by Philip's presence and undeniable talent, Lavin saw something extraordinary in him. So moved by his performance, she personally recommended him to the producers of the show, a decision that would change the course of his life. Philip McKeon was cast as Tommy Hyatt on the CBS sitcom Alice, thanks to a pivotal recommendation from actress Linda Lavin, who believed his presence would infuse the character with an authentic charm and energy. Her confidence in Philip proved decisive, altering the trajectory of his career. After auditioning, Philip secured the role, stepping in to replace Alfred Lutter, who had originally portrayed Tommy in the show's pilot episode. His casting felt natural. McKeon's blonde hair, magnetic smile, and sharp wit made him an instant favorite among viewers. Alice premiered on August 31, 1976, and quickly found success, running for 9 seasons until March 19, 1985. Over that period, Philip quite literally matured in front of America's eyes, growing from a lively, curious child into a thoughtful teenager, all while balancing real-life adolescence with his television persona. His role on the show turned him into a household name, and he became a popular figure in teen magazines, with fans writing to him from across the country. Yet his charm wasn't all superficial. Audiences and critics alike recognized his genuine talent. His performances earned him nominations for the Young Artist Awards in 1981 and 1982 in the Best Young Actor in a Television Series category, solidifying his reputation as a skilled young actor. However, the fame and visibility that Alice brought also came with limitations. In later interviews, McKeon candidly discussed the difficulty of being typecast. Like many child stars, he found it challenging to break free from the shadow of a defining role. Once Alice ended, casting agents and directors frequently saw him only as Tommy Hyatt, which narrowed the range of parts he was considered for. Though he continued acting through guest spots and smaller roles, none matched the scale or acclaim of his time on Alice. Despite this, Philip McKeon looked back on his years on the show with gratitude. He spoke warmly of the lessons he learned on set, not just in acting, but in understanding television production, teamwork, and the nuances of working with seasoned directors. These experiences later influenced a transition in his career, as he shifted his focus behind the scenes, becoming a radio host, producer, and director. His interest in the creative and technical sides of the industry allowed him to stay connected to storytelling in meaningful ways, even if he was no longer always in front of the camera. Though McKeon never again experienced the same level of stardom he enjoyed during his Alice years, he continued to work throughout the 1980s and 1990s, demonstrating his versatility in both television and film. He made notable guest appearances on shows like Chips in 1979, where his character added a youthful dynamic to the action-driven story of California Highway Patrol officers. In 1984, he also featured in episodes of Fantasy Island and The Love Boat, 2 of the era's most iconic anthology series. These roles gave him the chance to display a wider acting range, transitioning seamlessly between comedic and dramatic tones while connecting with longtime fans. In 1988, McKeon expanded his acting repertoire with a part in the TV miniseries Favorite Son, a gripping political thriller that challenged him with more mature subject matter. Around that same period, he began dipping his toes into feature films, embracing a new chapter of his career. In 1982, he starred in the made-for-TV movie Leadfoot as Tommy Russell, portraying a character caught in high-stakes drama, which allowed him to show a deeper emotional side. Then came his role as Richard Farley in the 1987 cult horror film Return to Horror High. Although reviews were mixed at the time, the film eventually developed a loyal cult following, and McKeon's performance stood out as a fan favorite. As he moved deeper into the world of film, he gravitated toward genres like horror, science fiction, and indie-style experimental narratives. His resume during this phase included roles in Red Surf, 1989, a gritty action film that also starred a then-up-and-coming George Clooney, 976 Evil 2, 1992, a chilling supernatural thriller, Sandman, 1993, a psychological horror film, and Ghoulies 4, 1995, part of a quirky horror comedy franchise. These projects gave him a platform to play darker, more complex characters than the wholesome roles he had been known for earlier in his career. Although these films didn't become major box office hits, they allowed Philip McKeon to continue working consistently and evolve creatively. He embraced the freedom to explore new and edgier territory in his performances, showing audiences and industry insiders that his talents extended far beyond the boy-next-door image from his Alice days. Eventually, McKeon chose to step away from acting and fully commit to work behind the scenes. Drawing on his deep well of industry knowledge, he pursued a career in production and direction, where he thrived. In 1992, he served as second assistant director and co-producer on the gritty drama Where the Day Takes You, a film centered around the struggles of homeless youth in Los Angeles. The project marked an important shift for McKeon, showcasing his ability to contribute to meaningful storytelling, not just as an actor, but as a creative force behind the camera. Philip McKeon's behind-the-camera career truly began to flourish in Los Angeles, where he made a name for himself as a capable and insightful creative professional. His work on the film Where the Day Takes You was met with critical acclaim and helped cement his reputation as a talented filmmaker with a strong sense for direction and production. Following this success, McKeon continued to grow in his role as assistant director, working on projects such as Sandman, 1993, and The Young Unknowns, 2000, where he consistently demonstrated his ability to manage complex sets and coordinate detailed production efforts with precision. By 2003, McKeon had reached a milestone in his career. He made his directorial debut with Edge of Nowhere. The film was praised for its thoughtful storytelling, introspective tone, and compelling directorial choices, earning him recognition as a promising director. His career as a producer also blossomed during this time. He contributed to the production of several notable films, including Teresa's Tattoo, 1994, a quirky crime comedy, Murder in the First, 1995, a powerful legal drama starring Kevin Bacon, and The Jacket, 2005, a critically praised psychological thriller featuring Adrian Brody and Keira Knightley. These projects showcased McKeon's evolution from child star to a sophisticated and competent filmmaker with a distinct creative vision. In the years that followed, McKeon's name gradually faded from major film credits, prompting speculation that he had stepped away from the limelight. Many believed he may have chosen to retire from the industry altogether, perhaps to pursue other interests or embrace a quieter life beyond Hollywood's spotlight. Having attended a private school in Burbank, California, reportedly St. John Paul II STEM Academy, McKeon was widely recognized not only for his talents, but also for his physical appearance. Even into adulthood, he retained a striking and elegant presence. Standing tall at 6 feet 3 inches, with a lean build, deep brown hair, and vivid blue eyes, he maintained the classic good looks that had made him a fan favorite during his youth. Fans who had watched him grow up on Alice often commented on his graceful transformation from a cute child actor into a handsome, poised adult. His appearance continued to be a part of his public persona throughout his life. Of course, Philip McKeon is still best remembered for his portrayal of Tommy Hyatt on the hit sitcom Alice, a role that won the hearts of millions during the show's 9-season run from 1976 to 1985. Playing the son of the main character, portrayed by Linda Lavin, McKeon brought both sincerity and comedic timing to the series, which was foundational to his early fame. The chance to play Tommy Hyatt came thanks to Linda Lavin herself, who had seen young McKeon performing on Broadway. Impressed by his stage presence, she recommended him for the part, a decision that would alter the course of his life. It was a testament to his natural charisma and undeniable talent, even as a child. Interestingly, Philip McKeon was not the only member of his family to find success in the entertainment world. He was the older brother of actress Nancy McKeon, who also rose to prominence on television. Born in April 1966, Nancy McKeon was just 17 months younger than Philip, and the two were very close throughout their childhood. It was their parents who introduced them to the world of modeling, taking them to a joint audition when they were still toddlers, a decision that would ultimately shape the futures of both siblings. While Philip entered the entertainment industry first, Nancy soon followed, also starting out as a child model and appearing in various commercials. Her career truly skyrocketed when she landed the role of Joe Polniacek on the beloved sitcom The Facts of Life, a role that garnered her both critical acclaim and widespread popularity. Though Nancy began her career after Philip, many would argue that she ultimately achieved a higher level of fame and commercial success. Over the years, she accumulated a substantial list of television credits, earned awards, and maintained a lasting presence in the entertainment business. In 2003, she married film technician Mark Andrus at the age of 39, and together, they built a private life, choosing to remain out of the public eye. Despite their differing career paths, the bond between Philip and Nancy endured, forged by shared early experiences and a close family dynamic. Rumors regarding Philip McKeon's personal life, particularly about his sexuality, began circulating in the years leading up to his death. Despite his good looks and public persona, Philip never married, and his romantic life remained largely private. This led to widespread speculation and questions such as, is Philip McKeon gay? And who is Philip McKeon's wife? Many rumors were fueled by the fact that he lived alone in a beautiful home and never confirmed any long-term relationships. However, there is no verified evidence to support claims about his sexual orientation. In truth, Philip McKeon simply valued his privacy. He never made public statements regarding his romantic relationships, preferring instead to focus on his work and personal peace. His bachelor status and striking appearance may have prompted gossip, but close sources have always emphasized that McKeon was not gay. He was just unmarried. While he was often the subject of speculation, he never faced any real scandal or controversy in his career or personal life. His reputation remained clean, and he was respected both for his professional contributions and his reserved demeanor. Philip McKeon's life and career were undeniably impactful. From child actor and teen heartthrob to a thoughtful filmmaker and media professional, he left a lasting legacy. His ability to transition from in front of the camera to behind it demonstrated a rare versatility and passion for storytelling. His story also serves as a reminder of how public misconceptions, particularly surrounding marriage and sexuality, can arise from mere privacy, not from truth. In a poignant and deeply personal development that stunned those who knew him, it was later revealed that Philip left behind a handwritten note prior to his passing. According to sources close to his family, the message was described as heartbreaking, powerful, and revealing. It offered a rare and intimate window into the private emotional battles that McKeon had faced for much of his life. For fans and loved ones alike, the letter was a touching final gesture, one that humanized the man behind the spotlight and offered closure to a life marked by both achievement and struggle. The emotional burdens that Philip McKeon carried were, for much of his life, hidden beneath a composed and gentle exterior. Widely recognized for his breakout role in the late 1970s as the endearing Tommy Hyatt on the hit sitcom Alice, McKeon was thrust into the unforgiving glare of Hollywood's spotlight at a young age. But as disclosed in a deeply personal letter he left behind, the weight of fame and the expectations that came with it had left a lasting impact on his mental and emotional well-being. In his heartfelt message, McKeon spoke openly about battling anxiety and depression, struggles that had haunted him since his adolescence. These issues, he explained, were compounded by the immense pressure of being a child star constantly scrutinized by the public. He described in vivid detail how challenging it had been to make the leap from child actor to adult roles, and how the entertainment industry's failure to support former child stars left him feeling discarded and invisible. The letter also offered a candid look into his personal and familial relationships, especially his deep connection with his sister, Nancy McKeon, who is best known for her role as Jo Polniacek on The Facts of Life. Philip shared his heartfelt admiration for her achievements and expressed immense pride in her success. However, he also revealed the emotional toll it took on him to live in the shadow of her rising stardom. Despite the loving bond they shared, he admitted to carrying a quiet sense of guilt and inadequacy for years, feelings that he had kept hidden even from those closest to him. He wrote that Nancy had always been a guiding light and a source of strength, offering him unwavering support even during periods when he pushed people away. His gratitude for her constant presence in his life was evident, and he acknowledged that her love helped him endure even his darkest moments. What left those who read the letter especially moved was the raw and fearless honesty with which Philip explored his emotional scars. He did not shy away from confronting the deep loneliness he experienced, or the stigmas tied to mental health, particularly among men and within the demanding culture of the entertainment business. He confided in his letter that he had often feared revealing his struggles, worried that it would be seen as weakness or result in rejection. "I spent so long pretending I was okay," he wrote, "because I didn't want to let anyone down. I thought that if I showed how damaged I was, people would walk away." These words offered a glimpse into the internal conflict he faced, an attempt to uphold the image the world had of him, even as he battled silently behind the scenes. Perhaps the most powerful aspect of McKeon's final letter is that it has since sparked an important dialogue about the lasting psychological effects of early fame. He used his final words not just to say goodbye, but to shine a light on the emotional neglect often experienced by child performers once the cameras stop rolling. He urged for more empathy, mental health awareness, and long-term care for those who find themselves in the whirlwind of celebrity at a young age, "We need to stop assuming that a smiling face on screen means everything is fine off screen," he wrote, a sentence that many have come to see as a rallying cry for systemic change. For those who knew and loved him, the letter has become more than a farewell. It has become a powerful piece of his legacy, one filled with pain, truth, and deep meaning. Though he is no longer here, Philip McKeon's final message has awakened a new sensitivity toward the hidden battles many endure, and may one day contribute to the positive transformation he long hoped for. Philip McKeon passed away in Texas on December 10, 2019, at the age of 55, following a prolonged illness. His family chose not to release specific details regarding the cause of his death, preserving his privacy even in his final moments.